She's just an amazing woman. She's the creator of the DIY Marketing Center, or the founder of the DIY Marketing Center. She's the creator of the Profitable Marketing Machine, which has been helping many, many businesses. And she's also the author of the Marketing Strategies That Really Work. I could go on and on, but I want us to have plenty of time to hear Ronnie, so I'll let Ronnie take it over.
So right now, yay.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, thank you, Becky.
Yeah, I've been excited to hear this. So
I am super thrilled to be here, and I'm really glad to share these strategies with you. And I'm going to talk fast. I've got a lot to say, but I strongly encourage you to take out a pen or a pencil and start taking notes, because you're going to want to remember this stuff. So the first thing I want to let you know is that your networking group, which you already know, I'm sure, is more than just a bunch of colleagues and friends. They can be powerful marketing partners that help you not only build your business, but make your clients' lives better, easier, and they'll have you to thank for that. So when you're ready to get serious about serving your clients and giving them, and giving as well as getting more qualified leads, I'm here to make that happen. And we're starting right now. So here's what you're going to get today. You're going to discover how to generate more leads from and to your networking partners. You are going to get three of my proven strategies that you can use right now. You're also going to learn what to do to make it happen, as well as how I can help you. Now, the deal is, it's not, so I'm sorry, I just choked. So it's not a matter of good or bad intentions, because I know that you have great intentions when you join a networking group. Both of you, everybody in the group, intends to refer as often as possible. Your networking partners want to send business to you, and you want to send business to them, but sometimes you don't have time to spend looking for new business for them. But I'm sure when it comes up, there's no problem. Sure, you're going to refer. But the problem is that is not really enough. And so the deal is, there is actually something missing in your networking. And most people have no idea. And here it is. I'm going to explain to you the 4 missing elements in most people's networking strategy. So number 1, the thing that's missing is an actual strategy that helps you decide what works besides just showing up and remember who does what, and maybe carrying around a few of other people's business cards in your handbag or your pocket or your notebook or your wallet. The next thing is, of course, a system for referring on a consistent, regular basis, how you're going to make it happen, planning it, implementing it, following up, reporting, all of that stuff. The third element is tools to make it easy. And the fourth element is time and effort. I'm talking about commitment from both parties. Now, I know when you're in a networking group and when you're doing these things, you want to help. So today, our focus is on the strategies, my 3 quick and easy ways to generate leads to and from your networking partners that will have you swimming in new business. I know these things work because I have done them myself. And since we're a little short on time, there's lots of time, but I'm just going to run through this really quickly. If you have a question, though, please unmute yourself. I'm not monitoring the chat because I'm running the slides. So please just sing out. Anyone's welcome to ask a question at any time. Right? Thank you, Becky. I see you nodding about that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
So let me talk about my first strategy, and that is the prescriptive referral. Okay, so you don't have to be a doctor or a medical professional to do a prescriptive referral, but it kind of follows that same model. And it's more than just waiting for somebody to ask. It's a proactive strategy to help you guide your clients to the right sort of help before they need it, and before they go on Facebook to ask everybody in their circle for recommendations. This is best done either during the original sale or even, so the initial consultation sort of thing, or during the onboarding process, but it can be done at any time. And there's a little power up, as I suggest everyone put one of these together, and that is a referral list that you can hand out, give people. These are people that you have vetted and that you approve of. Other service providers, vendors, and stuff like that. But what you're going to need to make this work is not just a list, but a referral email and an entire process to make sure that the recipient client feels understood, valued, cared for, essentially held in your heart. And also you want to make sure that the person to whom you refer, your networking partner, is going to follow up appropriately, because there's nothing worse than making someone feel great with a referral and then the referral gets bungled on the other end. So that's the first strategy, the prescriptive referral. And there are lots of different ways to do this, and it can apply to almost any business. Now, the next strategy is educational events. As you can see, we're right here learning stuff on Zoom. Other people go on Zoom too. As a matter of fact, the whole world goes on Zoom now. So I'm talking about webinars, seminars. It could even be sort of an interview or a Q&A. And rather than have it be open to the public, the way this educational event would work, or could be framed, as though that your clients have questions about X. So if you're a realtor, maybe your clients have questions about mortgages or whatever. And so you have arranged an expert to answer these questions in a private forum with no sales pressure. And this is a really great way to help people understand the ins and outs, and also to introduce really real live experts to their process. So the power up here is that you can actually personally call clients to invite them, instead of just sending them an email, we're having a webinar. Well, you could call and say, a lot of my clients have been asking me about such and such a thing, and I was wondering if you had any questions about that as well. Can you imagine how you would feel if you got a phone call like that from someone you're working with? Wouldn't you really feel like, wow, they care about me, they're listening, and they want to know? And then they can say, well, yeah, sure, I've got some questions about X. And you can say, well, fantastic. So I know someone who is an absolute expert, and I've invited them to sit down with a few of my clients and answer every question we can throw at them. Now, because your business is such and such, I'm sure you're going to want to know X, Y, or Z, and if they haven't offered a question. But the power up is to make sure that they have a question, and that they want to be there. And that way, this is not like some random lead generation webinar. This is actually a response to a need and a request and questions by your clients. I hope this is making sense to everybody.
Yeah, can we pause right there just to make sure everybody's on the same page?
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
So I know I'm talking fast, and I know it's kind of like a lot of information at once, but I absolutely welcome questions. Now, let me talk very briefly about what's needed for this sort of strategy. Obviously, you're going to need Zoom or a place to have some sort of little seminar. You're going to need one of your partners to present information on their area of expertise. You're going to need either a script, which I would suggest a phone script, email, possibly even a written invitation to reach out to your clients. And there are lots of other ways to make this super attractive and sticky. It doesn't just have to be a Q&A. But for our purposes today, I just wanted to put that little bug in your ear so you can see what I'm talking about. Now,
so in other words, like James may be working with clients who may have questions about Medicare. Maybe they're reaching that magical age. And so he could bring Joyce in to do a webinar on Medicare for his clients. And okay.
And what's really sexy and exciting about this is, so that's why we do it with a one-on-one power partner. But when we're talking with a networking group, it may not be a total power panel, but it can be pretty darn close, because every single person in the group can call their clients and say, I don't know if you'd be interested in this, but I'm in a networking group with a gal who is a Medicare expert, and she's doing a Q&A for some clients, and I'd like to invite you to show up as my guest. And that way everybody can can share the leads and give Lisa the referrals, or whoever. I mean, Lisa's
Joyce.
but yeah, Joyce. Yeah, give Joyce the referrals. And even though, say it would be someone else. Did you say James?
Yeah, James is the PNC agent. Yeah.
Right. And so maybe he's yeah. So just because he's looking for referrals and doing something for his clients doesn't mean that other people in the group can't get the benefit of Joyce's expertise. And so then it becomes a real power panel. And each member of the networking group can be interviewed or have a Q&A so that they can take questions from the clients from everybody in the group.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's a really, really sexy strategy that's super expandable.
Because we have a group here of true experts, and I can see all of them doing a webinar. You know, Linda could be sharing about all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, all of this stuff. Yeah, and the truth is, a lot of times people say, well, you know, I'm not an expert. I just happen to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's an expert compared to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Compared to my clients, because most of us have expertise in a few things. But we really do have questions, and we don't need to speak to the world's leading authority on Medicare to get a huge amount of value out of chatting with Joyce about it. And not that Joyce isn't an authority, but she's certainly a better authority than anybody I know. And so, but the same thing with realtors, insurance agents,
exactly,
all sorts of different types, and IT people. Now, lots and lots of opportunity there. Thank you for asking. Cool. Okay, so I've got another one, which is gift certificates. Now, a lot of times people say, oh, sure, I give out gift certificates all the time for sales consults. Or sure, I give out gift certificates. Sometimes I go buy a cookie and stick it, in some, a instant coffee packet and stick it in the mug with my logo on it. There's my gift. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a true gift. And not everyone's going to be able to do this, but for those who can, but particularly retail people, let me give you an example. Although this actually can be done in lots of different ways, you'd be surprised. I have a client who owns a salon in a little strip mall, just a little teeny place. In the same strip mall is a women's clothing boutique. And what they did one Christmas to thank their top 3 customers is they traded $100 gift certificates. These are not freebies. These are actual gift certificates. So the top 3 clients from the salon walked in and bought got $100 worth of clothes from the boutique, and the boutique people got $100 worth of salon products and services. And so essentially they traded their best customers. What's super exciting is that all 6 of these people became regular customers at each other's businesses. And it was a program that really, really worked. I also one time worked with a gal who had a clothing shop, and it was the dream of her heart to have it. And she was not doing very well. And she was actually kind of on the way. She was going to have to close, but she had this idea because she drove a certain type of luxury car, which she actually bought secondhand. And she was in the dealership, and she had this idea: what if the dealership sent a thank you letter to every woman like her who had purchased a car, either new or used, from this dealership in the past year as a thank you program? And what she would do is that she would give them a gift certificate for $100 silk robe. Now, the good deal is she got a fantastic deal on this $100 silk robe. They were overstocked. She got them for only $10 a piece. But what was really cool is that the dealership said sure and gave her a list. It was huge, of all the women who had purchased these cars. So what she did was created a letter, a thank you letter, and sent it out with a gift certificate to this shop for a beautiful luxury robe. And then, they scanned in the signature from the sales manager at the dealership. Well, it was fantastic. What with postage and everything, it cost her a little over $10,000, but it brought her in $290,000 in business. And so that is a gift certificate power partner sort of trade. Now, you can use those exact same principles to generate new leads with other people. That's just a really big, flashy example, but don't think that there isn't another way to do this, because there is. And sometimes that can be a free 3-month, almost like a trial, but not really a trial. So you don't have a trial out there with everybody. It can be difficult to figure out how to apply this to things like insurance and real estate, but there are ideas, so we can talk about it. Okay, so let's talk about a few things to note about these 3 strategies that I've shared with you. All 3 of them require systems, tools, and mutual cooperation to work. However, if they, and they all really will work, but they might not work. Most things, it seems like, don't work the first time. They might not work as well as you want to. So let me suggest, and especially in the marketing world, if something doesn't work the way you want to, figure out where the problem is, tweak it, fix it, and make it work for you. So if it's a good strategy, then it will work. Now let's talk a little bit about the turkeys, you might say. What happens when these strategies don't work, or why? Typically, it's a very simple issue. People might treat certificates as low value freebies and give out something, as a gift certificate that they give to just everybody. And then it's not really a gift certificate. Or maybe they don't qualify the clients. That's a tricky move, but that's really silly. Or maybe, I think one of the worst things is if when you have one of these referral partnerships, is if you don't follow up appropriately, you don't show up, or sometimes you treat the clients, the new prospects, with a little bit of disrespect because you think they might be mooches. That happened one time with a client of mine who used the gift certificate. The person who did it ended up being mad at the people. So let's talk about next steps. How do you get started figuring out these and using one of these 3 or another strategy to generate more leads more consistently in your networking group? Well, the first thing that you do is you talk to your partners, you talk to people in your group. The second thing is you identify and choose a program that you want to use. And it's going to take everybody being involved and talking about what they could do, and also probably looking at a list of their options. Then, of course, there is the implementation. So how do we make this work? And finally, the measurement. You want to make sure that you know how you're going to measure this group, because there are more than 3 ways to generate leads with networking partners, but they all work better when they are planned, when everyone's invested in them, and when they are measured. So earlier today, I promised that I would help you. And so here is what I will help you do to make this happen. I will help you figure out which strategy to use with your networking group, your partners. I will help you identify the tools you need to make it happen. I will create a step-by-step implementation process if that's what you need. And we'll also help you establish your success metrics. So let me talk about what my help looks like. It looks like a private group coaching session with all of your members. Now, these are normally $199. I'm offering a special that is good if it's purchased by August 13th. It's $49 off, so only $150 between all of your partners. So that's not each, that's everybody. And you just use the coupon code, I take the lead. Now, here is what it looks like when you go to my website. Let me just very briefly here. I am going to, whoops, just a sec. I need to get back on this. I need to, well, you know what, I'll pop the link in later, but it's right here. And you can see you would just use that code. And what you will get for your session is a private 45-minute session with me to apply these ideas to your business and your partner businesses, a video recording of the session, a written transcript so you don't miss a single word in case we say something brilliant, plus an action plan for your group to help implement this lead generation strategy immediately and profitably. So let's talk a little bit about what you got today. I've got 1 more minute in my 20-minute presentation. You got how to generate more leads from your networking partners, Three proven strategies you can use now, and actually what to do to make that happen. So before we wrap this part up, I have two questions. Number one, does anybody have a question? And number two, what are you taking away from this discussion?
I don't have a question, but I think the webinar idea is brilliant. I think I've heard a lot of networking tips and what have you over the years, but that was totally brilliant. I can actually see that as something very viable. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, Linda. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Anyone else have a question or a comment?
I love that group therapy program. You know, I don't know who else would be interested, but it would be fun to have Ronnie help all of us and split that cost. I mean, to me, that's like a no-brainer on how to do that with each other. So anyway, that's my input.
Thank you, Joyce. It's super fun, isn't it? It's all about marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
I do love marketing, actually.
Yeah. Well, why not? It's all about the exact art and subtle science. No, the exact art and subtle science of attracting, acquiring, and retaining great clients, customers, donors, patients, members, users, community, whatever, profitably. That's what marketing is. I love it. All right, my friends. So if no one has a question, then I would like to hear from the rest of you. We've heard from Joyce, we've heard from Linda. So what sparkled for you in this real quick little discussion of how to generate more leads from your networking group? I'd like to hear from everybody. It doesn't have to be long. It can be just, you know, a phrase. It doesn't even have to be a full sentence. But what are you taking away from that? Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I'm just trying to figure out how I can start to partner with people in my referral network to do things like the classes and so forth. And then also I sent your other class that's coming up next month over to my wife, who's trying to start a business. And so I sent that over to her.
Oh, thank you, James. I appreciate that.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you. And who's next?
Oh, I'll go. I was just thinking about it. I'd be interested in exploring this class that you are offering, this special. So if other members in our group wanted to do that, you know, I would be willing to do that too.
Yay. Thank you.
Dig a little deeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I've listened to Ronnie a few times, and it's always nice. And I think it's right time to take the next step and get some more advice from her.
Well, thank you, Ed. Thank you, Lisa.
Definitely good stuff.